that people wonder, what, what makes you happy? You have nothing with you. Because I go by the claims of the world and I'm trying to make myself happy. But I don't see you have any of that. And how dare you be happy? It's a exotic question in their head. How can you be happy? You cannot be happy because you don't have. Prabhupada told us a story about a great uh, builder, real estate and buildings, and who came up from rags to riches. He's got his own story. Everybody has his rag to riches story nowadays. People love to hear it, and people hope that I also be something like that. Uh, he had that feeling of, I was once upon a time a very, uh, what do you call it, even normally able to cater to my needs, and I've become now rich. So I always give to those who need, and to the needy I give charity. So there was another simple poor man, which whom he saw every time as he went in his wonderful opulent vehicle. For a long time, he's been watching that there's a poor man under a big uh, tamarind tree, uh, having his own small hut, and then taking bath in the Ganges next to it. And he was always dancing and very happy, staying in a small place. And he had little rice that he would cook himself. And he would take the tamarind and put it in it. And he had his little puja offered to the Lord and eat it and be very happy. And he was seen always worshipping the Ganges and dancing there, chanting japa, and just generally on his own. But he always seemed independent of the rest of the world, and he seemed to be having his own happiness, small happiness. So this man thought that I'd like to help this guy. I've been watching him for a long time for a change. So he stopped his huge car and got down and went to this person in the bank of the Ganges, and he said that I've been watching you for long, and I can see that you're struggling. I was once upon a time like you, and now I have a lot. I want to share my little bit of my wealth with you so that you can build yourself a nice place. I can buy this place for you, and you can build it, and again. And all of a sudden, that man started laughing. So laughing wide on the bank of the Ganges. And he said, I don't want anything. I want nothing from you. I'm so happy. Every day I do my little worship of the Lord and chant his names. I worship the Ganges. I take water of the Ganges. I cook. And whatever I get a little bit, I add some tamarind leaves to it. I add some tamarind to it. And I'm happy. He said, no, no, I insist that you please take this and live a better life. And he again started laughing and said, you know, once upon a time I was like you. I was also having all the wealth like you have. And it's not that I don't know and I don't have that experience, but I never had the experience that I'm having now when I had all the wealth. And I don't think you'll be able to ever have this rich experience that I'm having with all the wealth you have. And that was a powerful lesson for this big real estate man. And he started thinking very deeply that you were happy without having anything. And I'm thinking that you're not happy and that I am happy. But I come to know that no, you say telling me that I am happy and you are not happy. So it set him thinking. It set him thinking very deeply. So we don't actually get to burst the bubble normally, because anywhere you turn, people are all going by the claims of the world. So Lord Chaitanya, he said that no, actually it's like this. he said that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Loving him or learning to love him is the greatest activity, the highest type of activity. Achieving love for him is the greatest goal. And you become very rich when you do that. You become very wealthy. And not only that, you will enjoy that process of getting wealth and that wealth when you get it. He called it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Prema Sukha Bhoga. To express your love and exchange that love with Krishna and be loved by Krishna. That will give you the maximum happiness. Ananda. This is revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he told us that if you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This capacity for you to love God will open up inside you. It's lying dormant. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita you will see repeatedly Krishna will give value to Bhakti. Almost in every chapter, in some chapter it is hidden, and some chapters is very direct. And in the end, he just opens it up and says, just fall in love with me. Man mana bhava, mat bhakta hai, mat yaji mam namaskuru. And you can do that by this sadhana process of worshipping me, offering your obeisances to me, and da da da. And I promise you, mame vaishisi satyam te prati jani prayosime. I promise you, you'll be successful in this. Why? Because I love you. I actually love you. Prayosime, you're very dear to me. This is an amazing statement. It's a very personal statement. Saying that you try this, my dear child, and it will grow and you'll come back to me and we will enjoy it by reciprocating and having a relationship with each other. That's why I think the Bhagavad Gita is a hidden, supreme love story. And you need to unravel it, you need to open it. And only a devotee who is a premi or who is a lover of Krishna can show you this hidden agenda of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. On the one side, he is saying, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, and saying, whenever dharma goes off the rails in this world, I come and institute dharma and pull it back in shape and size, and so that people can follow it and there's be proper order. But in the same 18th chapter, he will say, to hell with the dharma. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. He'll say, dump it, give it up, this dharma. Just learn to surrender to me. Because the purpose of this so-called dharma, religion, and rules and regulations and order in society is to be able to come to me. And if you're not able to do that with following that religion and dharma, dump it. You directly try to establish a relationship with me. This is a very amazing statement. So in the end, everything is about love. And that is a real hankering, that is a real need. And we are waiting to get that. valuable commodity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not only did he say this as Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he's also come with a very practical process of you getting that love instantly by this simple process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And throughout, you will see in all the Vedic literature, the Puranas and stories in Vrindavana and all the holy temples that you would visit in India, you will see stories of personalities who have achieved this love. And each of those stories are very colorful, very unique. And how Krishna goes out of his way to reciprocate with any soul who's got even a little bit of this inkling, this way or like that. And he encourages that fire of love in everybody. And so you can see the personality of Godhead in a very personal way, in a relational way. And something new comes about. Something very personal comes about. So this is the goal of life. The goal of life is to grow fully in love of Godhead. And this is a deep topic. It's very scientific and it's step by step developed. And the process of how to do it is what great acharyas and great thinkers and saints have delineated very nicely. So, going back to that saying, life finds its wealth by the claims of the world, but it is worth by the claims of love. If we are actually wanting to value ourselves, many times I hear people feel depressed, they feel low, and this is a common disease in this age. Depression is declared in the United Nations as one of the major forms of disease. People, do not have value for themselves, or rather don't know how to value themselves, do not know who they are. And via the value systems in this world, they find themselves pretty low. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how valuable you are to him, and therefore how valuable you should find yourself to be, especially if you understand who are you in relation to Krishna. Mamevamsha jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. The first identity that we have, which Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita, is you are my part and parcel. You belong to me. You're my part and parcel. And therefore you're very valuable to me. And when we also understand ourselves in this way, we have great value for ourselves. We have great value. But when you start valuing yourself on the basis of the claims of the world, you can become depressed. Especially if you don't have a good horoscope. And it's not good karma. And you can become very depressed. And naturally, there are inequalities, therefore, in this world. Some people are rich and they get richer and richer, and they are lost to themselves. And we from this side think that, wow, that's how I like to be. And all sorts of desires come up, and you do all sorts of things. And you may be sometimes entangling yourself, messing up your life. But that gentleman on the bank of the Ganges was not getting entangled in any of these things and expectations. He had a good understanding of the simple definition that Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita. Mamaivamsha jivaloke. You belong to me. And then he said, yeah, I belong to the Lord. That's my first identity. And he was enjoying it. He was enjoying it. In the Ramayana, you will see that Vibhishana is Ravana's brother, which means he's the big enemy's brother. And when Ramachandra has landed in Lanka, he's crossed and he's setting up his army. But even before, I think, it's before, Vibhishana has an interaction with Ravana, because Ravana calls it a council of everybody and says, what should we do now that we are at war? And Rama has come with his Vanara clan. And there's a discussion, and each one of them falsely praises Ravana. Don't worry, you have done that, you have done this. Who is this puny human being? We will get him. And there are only two people who bring Ravana to reality. One is his own, one is his other brother, Kumbhakarna. The other one is Vibhishana. Kumbhakarna is a person who tells him that, you don't take permission from any of us before you stole Sita and brought here, that you should have done before you created all this confusion. But anyway, since you're my brother, that's okay. I support you. I'll do whatever is necessary. If there's war, I'm out there fighting for you. Vibhishana will get up and he will say that you shouldn't have done this. It's a mistake. Even now you can actually give Sita back and you can only do so. Why did you do that? Don't listen to all these guys who are praising you. They're simply going to talk all these things. They don't know the reality. We are all going to be destroyed and so many things are going to happen. Because this person, Rama, is not like what you think. You don't think he's just an ordinary human being. So he gave her the reality. He gave her a check. But Ravana got extremely hot with him for speaking something which is a different point of view. I'd like you to speak something that I like to hear. Not that you speak something that I don't like to hear, whether it is reality or not. That's the Asuric climb. And so he actually got down from this thing and came and kicked him on the chest and said, get the hell out of here. Put him out of his kingdom. So Vibhishana thought that I'm not sheltered now. There's only one person who can shelter me. I believe my enemy, Rama. So he's a devotee at heart. He said, let anything happen, I'll go and express myself like this. And he went to Rama. And he said that I'm here to surrender to you. And Ramachandra had him waiting. And he took the opinion of everybody. He made it a democratic process. All of you are with me, you're fighting together, I should take your opinion. And he said that, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And most of them said that, don't you trust this person? He's the brother of our greatest enemy, the person who stole your wife. And he could be a spy, he could be that, he could be, each one gave different opinion. Sugriva gave opinion, and Chambavan gave opinion, Angad gave opinion. All of them had their own opinion. But it's only Hanuman was the last person to say that, no, you should give him shelter. I have seen him in Lanka when I visited Lanka. He's very different from the rest of them. He's inclined to you. He's a devotee. And then Ramachandra, he says that, yes, I'm going to accept him. Much to the shocking surprise of everybody else who are getting ready to fight this war against the enemy. And then he declared and said, anybody, even for once, tava asmiti cha uchyate. If he says to me, I belong to you, sincerely, feelingly, I vow to protect that person forever. Even if Ravana comes to me and says, I made a mistake, here is Sita, I'm very sorry, I'll embrace him. I'll give him all protection that he needs forever. Because that's my nature. That is my nature. This is the vow I take. If anybody, how much ever he has made a mistake, how much ever he has earned in life, if he does this, I'll go all out of my way to protect him and keep him secure. This is the nature of the absolute truth. This is the nature of God. So therefore, we all, if we can, understand that we belong to God, to Krishna, then our journey of love starts. And we become richer and richer and richer. And in this economy of bhakti, everybody can become rich. There's no dearth of money. I mean, there's no dearth of the commodity of wealth. Because it's love. And they go to unlimited extent. You can become very, very rich and become totally absorbed. So it's a completely different world. And that is the reality. And we are in a different world where we assume something else to be of value. Right? So this is a declaration in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the core essence of the Bhagavad Gita. I'll stop here. Just some water drink. This is the core essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Although Bhagavad Gita get into a lot of discussions because the discussions are about the questions that Arjuna asks of Krishna and Krishna answers. But every time he answers these questions, he keeps saying, but if you actually become my devotee, everything becomes all right. If you actually become my devotee, all this you will come to know. If you actually, only my devotee can understand this. In different places he says this. He explains the intricate understanding of matter when he said, but my devotee will easily understand this. And then he says, when he talks about his situation and everything, so, but if you become my devotee, all this will be understood. All this will be understood. Any different types of questions that Arjuna asks, the solution that Krishna gives is, but all this is nothing. You simply become my devotee. If you fall in love with me, everything becomes all right. Okay? So I'll stop there. This is just to provoke a discussion and maybe provoke some sort of a discussion in the thought of the verse. I'm just spontaneously speaking under the inspiration of Krishna to you. Right? Any questions or any comments you'd like to make on this? It's a free house. You can make it. Yeah, go ahead. Your name?
Sagar.
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 Yeah, please go ahead, Sagar.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful talk. So I have a quick question. So the people who live in extreme distressed areas like Plaza for now or Lebanon, how they can cultivate Krishna Bhakti when they are struggling to meet their basic life amenities?
No one said that you shouldn't try to get your basic necessities. Your basic necessities and your need for that and your effort to get those things, that goes on in life. It's not that this is replacing that. It was never the formula. That there are two things in life that we need to do. One is to get ourselves materially comfortable, at least the basic necessities, and then pursue the higher goal of life side by side. In the initial stages, it is like, if I'm not able to get the basic necessities, I cannot focus on the highest goal of life. But as you advance a little bit in the higher goals of life, these things get minimized. And they're there or they're not there, you still manage. The importance that you give for them becomes lesser. As you indulge in love of Krishna more and more, some of these other things don't become important. But since we do not have that experience yet and we're in the beginning stages, we need to take care of these things first. So that's okay. So in the Vedic system of thought, that's called Varnashrama, taking care of your material life and your spiritual pursuits together. There's a system, and you get both together. But as a person advances in self-realization, he advances in developing his love. He doesn't need this very much, the system much. He can even do without some of these things. And at some point in time, he can do with none of these things. It's called renunciation. So it's a process. In Lebanon, in Gaza, they're being bombed, and there's a whole lot of clamor about it everywhere. That it's not proper. Actually, it's not proper. It's right. And in the world, because of the value systems that I mentioned earlier, claims of the world, people will fight like this and compete like this because they do not know the real core of life. And anyway, everybody's going to die this way or the other, finally. So the capacity to understand this higher goal is something that needs to be taught to people. So maybe in Lebanon, there are persons who are not being taught, and they're in a position where they've got themselves to a pretty low state because of lack of this type of education. So if you ask me, how can these people get bhakti? Right, that's what we've been doing. And when Ukraine and Russia are at war and still at war, to be giving a practical answer to you, our devotees were there distributing food to the needy on both sides without any discrimination. We're not involved in the war. We just want to give you prasadam. It's sanctified food, and it will actually benefit both of you, both materially and spiritually. Maybe it will contribute to stopping the war. Because we have hope for that in this way, we went and practically distributed food, and they appreciated it very much. I think two or more of our devotees lost their lives while doing so. They were also bombed. But we went ahead and did that. That's a short answer to your question, but can be expanded more. So how can people in Lebanon and Gaza get bhakti? They can be given bhakti. They can be given a chance to chant Hare Krishna. They can savor prasadam and food, and that could be the beginning. And in this way, gradually, they may step up. Okay? Yeah. Anybody else wants to? Yeah. Your name is?
Vishal.
Vishal.
Yeah.
Vishal.
Thank you for the talk. Towards the end of your talk, you said that Rama said that whoever comes to me and wholeheartedly, even for once, says that I want to be surrendered to you, he accepts that. But how do we know that our wholeheartedly is wholeheartedly enough? Because even if we are trying for Lord, we know that there have been some desires, material desires of some sort we want, deep down our heart, and we are not that we only want you. And I don't know if we can even reach that. At least at my level, I'm not sure if I'll even reach that stage where it will be only about love. So how do we know that our crying is crying wholeheartedly enough that the God will accept it?
Well, first of all, whether you're wholeheartedly able to do it or half-heartedly able to do it, the Lord says He'll reciprocate accordingly. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita that says, Ye yata ma prapadyante, tang stadeva bhajamiham. As you come towards me, I'll reciprocate with you. So it's not a demand that you have to give wholeheartedly 100% asking me. But as we cultivate knowledge, we know that I need to do this, but I'm not fully prepared. But then, my Lord, this is the bit I can do. I can do something, but I understand theoretically that this is what I should be doing, but I'm not able to fully do. A prayer like that also gets reciprocation. You understand? Like for a child who comes to the father having committed a mistake, and he's not able to fully say, Father, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, this and that. He's got a little bit of ego and everything. But the father knows that he's struggling with that. But he truly is related with me and wants to express himself to me. So the father will go out of his way and say, don't worry, okay, he'll give you security. And it makes it easy for you to express that even further, gradually, openly. So relationship is real with Krishna. And in the moment he understands that you have a little feeling towards, he will reciprocate accordingly so that that grows. Okay? So it does not matter that you don't have 100% fully surrendered feeling, but you can start and it will grow. That's the process. There's no condition that you have to be 100% surrendered if you want to come out to me. Krishna says you can go and make baby steps towards it and it can grow. Okay? Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead. What's your name?
Sumit.
Suman.
Sumit.
Sumit. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Sumit.
So why do we sometimes knowingly do things that we understand are wrong? I shouldn't say we, it's like I.
Yeah, great question. It's a great question, and it's a question asked by Arjuna. Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anicha api varshneya baladiva niyojita. Don't worry about that, Sanskrit and all that. I just want to authenticate what you're saying by taking this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Anicham, without me desiring it, balad even niyojita, by force, I'm doing something which I don't like to do or don't want to do. Why? Like that. And Krishna answers amazingly by saying, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava. He says because of lust in the heart. And what is lust? Lust is a powerful desire we have to be separately, independently exercising ourselves in the objects of our gratification. I don't want anything to do with you, God. I can do it on my own. I don't want you in the picture at all. It's me. I'll do it. I can do it. I want this. I go for it. I can do it. I have the capability to do it. This is an act of lust. Intense desire for enjoying matter in a manner that you think is right. That's actually lust, calm. So Krishna is saying that you're being pushed by your own intense desire, unlawful, illegal desire, without having any recognition or acknowledgement of him in your life, on your own. Right? That is the cause. That's the original cause. Right? That's the original cause. That's why you're sinning and you have no control over it. This is a technical answer to what you're asking. And it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So, of course, we need to have proper definitions for all these things. What is lust? What's the meaning of saying it's illegal and all of that? If you go deeper and ask what is love, it's actually, and what is lust, it's actually a diametrically opposite aspect of love. Right? So when you're, what shall I say, wallowing around in that type of a material life, it's quite possible, like Krishna is saying, because you have no vestige of love for me, acknowledgement also, no dharma, nothing involved, then that itself becomes the reason for you doing in total ignorance certain types of things. right? Because you don't know who you are, what you are, you're being pushed by material nature under the modes of sattva, rajas, and tamas, and you're doing something that's not good for you. Anichamavivarshaya, baladi. This is the answer that Krishna gives. When a person cultivates self-realization, asks questions, gets to know who am I, and then does something about it gradually, then he becomes free from that lust. Does that help? Yeah, Sumit. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else has a question? Okay. Your name?
My name is Sheetal.
Sheetal, yeah.
I said that most of the spiritual journeys that most of us start off always has to be some downfall, unhappiness, and that's when the real fire to learn is spiritual.
Yeah, sometimes you need a kick in the butt or a shake up because you're so lost in forgetfulness and everything. That happens even in a school when the kid is like completely indisciplined, totally off. You get a little whack, and when they put on the press, come on, get out of the rails. So that's explained very nicely in technical terms again, that a conditioned soul, a soul has become conditioned by material nature, is totally forgetful. You must understand what's the meaning of conditioning. Conditioning is not just an ordinary word here. Conditioning means you are responding in a mechanical manner without actually deeply understanding who you are, what you are. I'll give you an example which I often use is, in my younger days, I used to go to the circus. I don't think it's popular now. But I had circus. It's an exciting event. There's a big tent and there's all sorts of trapeze artists and gymnastics and jokers coming and doing things and people with a lot of physical capabilities coming and doing. And it's all awe-inspiring. And then inside it, there's a show with animals. There's a lion that's brought, and that was fascinating to me. And the lion, a cage comes in a big truck, and there's a thin guy who's a lion tamer, a white hat and a white dress, and he's got a white stick, and I don't know how it is white, it's painted white. He's, it's like a performer. And the cage opens up. The lion comes roaring out, and everybody in the gallery is, whoa, it's free, it's open. But this guy is controlling it. He whacks his whip and puts his stick down, and the lion stands where it is. Then he does climb on the stool. There's a small stool, pretty strong stool, but there's a climb, and the lion climbs and balances itself on the stool on all fours. And everybody goes, wow, he's got such power. He can control that lion, that furious beast from the forest. And then he would tell the lion to jump through a ring of fire that's placed. And the lion will jump through the ring of fire, come on the other side, and growl and open its mouth. But he'll again whack its whip and come back and sit on the stool. And everybody's going, wow. And then he'll whack his whip again, and the lion will open its mouth so huge. He put his head inside the lion's mouth. And everybody is going, my gosh, wow. And he just keeps it there for a full minute. And the lion has kept its mouth open. And then he takes it out, and it's still keeping his mouth open. And then he whacks his whip, it closes his mouth. And people are all standing and wow, giving him a rousing applause. And then he whacks his whip, and the lion goes into the cage again, it's locked and taken off. And then he bows to everybody. There's a stunning applause. I was I always was very amazed at how this is possible. But that lion, you can see, is not really behaving like a lion. A lion is not supposed to be like this. That a human being can get up and sit down, open your closet, shut it, put it. It's not behaving like a lion at all. This fellow, he has trained it like that. It's been first caught in a trap from the forest, and it's pretty young. Then it is brought in and whacked like nothing, kept hungry for days together. And then when it's really big, so climb the stool, I'll give you this piece of meat. And he'll do anything for something to eat. And then he trains it like that. He'll beat it and say, do this, do this, do this, do this. In this way, he conditions the lion. If you do this, you'll get the reward of food. If you do this, you'll get some water. Otherwise, you simply get beaten and you'll be hungry. So it's conditioning itself that I better do it, otherwise I can't live. So gradually, that lion becomes a conditioned lion. It's not a lion, right? It's not because everybody can see that. This is definitely not a lion. It's behaving like a mouse. It's under the control of this man. So when I say conditioned soul, the soul is something like that, beaten into submission by material force, which Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita very nicely, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and need to behave in a particular way. So you're a conditioned soul. Remember the conditioned line. You're a conditioned soul. You're not behaving like you should be behaving. You're not free. Somebody is holding you together and has entered your head and entered your mind, entered everything and controlling you completely. The software has changed. The hardware is behaving according to that. You have no control over yourself. You're not the original self. Now you understand what's a conditioned soul? Each one of us, the Bhagavad Gita says, is like a conditioned lion. You forgot that you're a lion. You don't know your powers. Imagine the lion suddenly knows, what the heck are you doing to me in the middle of the circus? And jumps on the tamer. He cannot do anything much. He's just trying to use certain subtle forces to control the lion. And what if it runs wild into the crowd? Finished. Everybody will be going berserk. That's the way you're controlled. By a powerful force. Maya, Shakti, the moods of nature. You are not free. You are a conditioned soul. You've forgotten who you are. You're forced to do certain things like this. Why? Because you cut yourself away from the absolute truth, from Krishna. And you're imprisoned and conditioned like this. In that situation, you need to be told things in a different way. That's why he's using a whip. Whip. Right? But if somebody comes and tells a lion, hey, you're a lion, to hell with this guy, right? Just give him a roaring pounce on him, they'll lose. And Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, if you connect with me and establish a connection with me, this guy is nothing. Material nature is nothing. It's a beautiful analogy that Prabhupada gives to that. He says that if you connect with me, what's the shloka? Mami be prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This material energy is very difficult for you to cross over on your own. The conditioning force that's on you, you can't fight out of it. But if you reach out to me, I am the master of this conditioning force. I'll just tell them, get lost, and you'll be in your full bloom as your original self. So Prabhupada gave a beautiful example. He said that if you go to these big houses, at least in India and outside here, you have these big bungalows and acres of land and housing, and you knock at the gate or ring the bell at the gate, the first being that will come at you lunging forward is a dog. Bark at you. This is a modern welcome for people in Kaliuga. You ring the bell, you get, and then you know that there's only a dog. I'm actually waiting for the owner, and you ring the bell. Insistently, persistently, you ring the bell, and the more you do it, the more the dog barks. Take away your hand from the bell. You say, who the hell are you? I mean, you get just on the other side of the gate. I go ahead ringing the bell. When you're persistent about, ringing the bell and not bother with the dog, then the owner himself comes out. And so, hi, how are you? Da, da, da. And Prabhupada said that as soon as he opens the gate, you may say the dog. Hey, don't worry about the dog. As soon as he opens the gate, the dog starts wagging the tail and becoming a good friend. Instantly changes its whole perspective of you. Why? You're connected with my master. Since you're connected with my master, I'm your good friend. But earlier I didn't know you were connected with your man. That's my master at all. My duty is to bark at you and keep you out. I did that. But now that my master is connected with you, I can see that it won't start coming and nuzzling around you and wag its tail, having a good friend. Prabhupada used this example and said, material nature which conditions you will become your good friend. When material nature comes to know you have established contact with my master. Right? Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. A very nice, beautiful example. So when we do that, then things are different. So that shake-up is meant for you to do that. Once I shake up, you desperately go ring the bell. I want to meet you, please. Things are happening to me. Okay? So I hope that's useful. Yeah. Any other question or comment?
I have one question.
Please.
Is there more than one path to reach to Krishna? I'm asking in the sense of people having different beliefs.
People may have different beliefs, different faiths, but the destination is one. The destination is one. And Krishna is saying that the path of bhakti is the easiest. Why? It's most natural. Like I explained in the beginning that I want to be loved, I like to love. And the best place for me to, best track and the best place for me to love is the Supreme Lord Krishna. I have a direct relationship with him. So other paths may not afford this type of a direct relationship path. It's indirect. So indirect. And sometimes it will also be painful path. Avyaktahi gatir dukkham vegavad piravapyati. Krishna says that he uses the example of one path which Arjuna speaks about. He says that path is painful and difficult. It's like, I was just commenting when I landed up from here. I came from India to the Gulf and spent some 4 or 5 days there and then came here. And I was commenting that, wow, America is so clean, neat, and the roads are so good, and the ride is so good. And in India, I said that it's got garbage and the roads are bumpy, and I got a slip disc, and it's difficult. You want to do something. So if you have a pathway that's filled with pebbles, stones, and da-da-da-da, walking becomes difficult. But if you have a pathway that's clean, easy, your driving is faster and smoother and hassle-free, and you get to the destination. Bhakti is like that. Bhakti is a clean path. And that is described in the Bhagavatam by Karpachana Muni to Maharaja Nimi very nicely. He said, my dear king, Yanastaya Narorajan Na Pramatita Kariyachit. This path of devotion, this path of bhakti is so good, my dear king. Na Pramatita Kariyachit. There is no bewilderment in this path. There's no confusion of any sort. Everything is very clear. Dhavan Nimilya Vanetre. If you close your eyes, bandage it. And if you run on this road, Dhavan Nimilyavan Naskale Napatit Iha. You will not slip, you will not fall, you'll reach your destination. This path is so good. You close your eyes, you bandage it, and it is simply run wild. You'll reach your path. You just got to run on it. You just got to move on it. You can even bandage your eyes and you can go. You will reach the destination. This is so good path. But you can't do that on a place filled with rubbles and stones and rocks and thorns and everything. You bang, you can't even do it on this road. You definitely bang the cars and the trucks and everything.
Yeah.
But he gives this example that's a so nice pathway. You make a mistake also. You still, Krishna says, even if you make a mistake on this path, I'll put you back. So that's why the path of bhakti is most convenient, most natural, easy. All of the other paths, which Krishna describes also in the Bhagavad Gita, in terms of faith and belief. And so he doesn't say no to that. He encourages that, okay, but finally you will land up with me anyway. Everybody's looking for me. So you may come this way, that way, this way, but you will land. But I'm saying that if you do this, it's easy. It's faster. And I want to meet you quick. I don't want you to drag your feet in all these different ways. That's the thing. Okay? You will never see that in the whole Vedic tradition. People have all sorts of things. And they stick to, and it's all taken under the same umbrella. Actually, people talk about, they don't understand the Vedic tradition. If you look at the Shat Darshanas, there are 6 ways of philosophies and understanding. You'll see some of them are even atheistic. There were very less percentage of theism in them. You'll see Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Karma Mimamsa, like that, there are different paths described. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, practically not much theism involved. It's about logic, it's about analysis, and Sankhya is about material, study of material elements and analysis and finding out what is this, what is that. But all this is under the banner of Vedic understanding. Like you can try it however you want, whichever way you want.
I didn't get that.
Could you try? You're not discouraged. You're not discouraged. So even an atheistic philosophy is accommodated. If you want to think like it's okay. Because your father is, it's a reality that he knows you and you will take time to know him, but you belong to me, so I protect you. It's okay, you can take time to learn. Because I have love for you and I look after you. You have a notion, you have a philosophy. It's like a father saying, it's okay, my son, okay, fine. And everything. I love you. So I give you facility in different ways for you to understand me. So he's very broad. Krishna is very broad because it's the absolute truth. So you see in the Vedic tradition, we don't punish somebody who's got a different point of view. They have dialogues and they have arguments and debates, and they go feeling very good. It's not that I'm forcing and shoving it down your throat that you have to accept it. No. That is wrongly interpreted in modern Hinduism as Hinduism is a way of life. It is not a religion. You can follow any path, worship anybody, and finally you will become God. It's completely wrong. You understand who's God, you don't understand why there are different paths. You don't understand. You're understanding a very different way. Okay? I hope that helps.
Yes,
What's your name?
that's Chris.
Chris. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
hope that helps you, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question or comment? Yeah. Your name?
Nandini.
Navanitam?
Nandini.
Nandini. Sorry, I'm hearing things.
I think earlier in your class, you said that there's so many things that happen in Kali Yuga. One of them is like there's no equality. We see so many things that happen, and then I think sometimes it is like Kali Yuga, which is very true, it is Kali Yuga, and that's why we are saying all that. So whether it's in spiritual life or in your work life and all of that, when you are seeing such inequality or things which are like not okay, but they're still happening as devotees or as practicing devotees, what do you think? How should we react or respond to that, like practically? Like instead of, if someone comes and tells us, oh, this happened, we know they're like Kali Yuga, but what else can we like? What should the thinking be around?
Okay, yes, it's a practical question. I will presume that you know why there is inequality in this world. Because you're a student of Bhakti and you read Bhagavad Gita, and your question is, when there is a complaint about inequality, or yeah, how do you? Obviously, you cannot slap the person black and blue with shlokas from Bhagavad Gita and tell him, don't worry, this world is the absolute truth and this is all the relative truth and da 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 da. Obviously, you're not going to understand your lofty philosophy because he's suffering some inequality, which according to him is not fair. Right? Yeah. So what to do in such an event? How do we explain things to them? Of course, your long-term desire and idea would be that I would make them understand what's really equality. On the spiritual level, it's all equal. On the material level, it's diverse. And it's about karma and da-da-da-da, everything. So it's a question of, I can't give you a specific answer because everything is tailor-made according to the person who's coming to you, his situation, his circumstance. And first of all, you give him a good hearing, why he feels so and what he's struggling with. And then if he's a philosophical person, who will ask you thoughtfully, why is it like that? What does the Bhagavad Gita say about it? I want to know. Philosophy, which means that he's a little intelligent and is willing to take a philosophical answer. Somebody else is in distress, and it's not the time to, like I said, slap him with shlokas and philosophy and everything. Then you have to tell him differently. You'll see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks differently to Arjuna. And he waits for seeing which you will catch hold of. He tells Arjuna that, wow, if you fight this war, you will get Swarga. If you fight this war, you'll get fame. Akirti, you're talking like a person who doesn't want fame. Anarya Jushtam Aswargyam Akirtim Karam Arjuna. You're not a cultured guy when you say this. Anarya. Aswargyam, you will not get Swarga, the higher planets for greater material enjoyment. Akirtim, it will bring you it will give you ill fame, or rather, you will not be famous. So why do you want to do this? But these are not the things you will talk to Arjuna. But later he will talk other things to him. But he floats all sorts of carrots in front of him. Right? You'll see that in the first chapter and the second chapter. And then Arjuna doesn't fall for all that. Because he's on a different platform and he wants something else. And he's able to understand that other higher things that Krishna finally explains. And it makes him understand that the person who's sitting and driving the chariot is the absolute truth. So it's very amazing the truth that Arjuna goes through, but he was able to take it. But people are not all like that. You don't know from which stage they're coming. So you have to float that type of a carrot for their initial stage. So when somebody comes to you with distress like that, you say, wow, please, I'd like to help you. Is it so? I can come and speak to your husband. I can come and speak to this employer of yours. I know somebody here, I'll help you out. That's what I will do. And so he feels comfortable. Oh, you Hare Krishna guys are nice guys. At least you roll your sleeves up and come down to the level of actually solving a problem from where I am. People need that solace. So you give it to him first. Then he's going to like you because you helped me. Even if it didn't help out very much, at least you heard me. I'll come back to you. But this is what Krishna does in the Bhagavad Gita. He tells them, don't disturb those people who are at that level. Simply give them good advice and solace. He tells Arjuna, I don't know, forget that shloka, what's the shloka? That don't disturb people who are like that. You just cater to them and keep them going. So this is my practical answer to you. From wherever the person comes, you see where is his origin and how he is, and listen to him. People are all, I mean, most people are intelligent, and situations there in the material world bewilders them, confuses them, and makes them ignorant. So give them a support. It may be a material support that you need to give sometimes. It's not that as devotees of the Lord, we are callous towards their material requirements. So you support them, make them feel this thing, and they will feel confidence. And they will be willing to gradually understand more. And so this is my practical answer to you. So according to the position they come from, you can talk to them and deal with them. Does it help, Nandini? Yeah. Any other question or comment? 8 o'clock is Hardik? Yeah, 1 more minute. Any other question or comment? I'm available a little after that too, for some time.
Online.
Online.
You can ask me that question.
Can you ask question?
No one has a question online.
You can ask me.
Anybody has a question online? It's not that I'm dealing with people only offline. I'm speaking about how we have to answer everybody's question. And we take online questions too. Somebody may be raising hands desperately. You don't recognize. No,
No questions.
that's the nature of online. Okay, so the Arati is getting ready, and we will all do worship of Krishna, and we will sing Kirtan also. We can join together, and after that, you can take prasadam. And am I around if you want any more questions that I could help you with? I'll be happy to do that. Okay. Hare Krishna.
So let's go big round of applause. I promised you, sir, that I will introduce Maharaj again in the end. So this is a brief. Maharaj, as you know, that he has done various services to ISKCON in various capacities. But I would like to briefly. Maharaj. So Maharaj has done his BTech in chemical engineering from NIT Trichy. So for 5 years, he served before joining ISKCON as a design engineer in Mazda multinational company. Then he got attracted to the teachings of the Gita, and he joined as a monk. Now it's been 35 years in ISKCON, in serving in various leadership capacities. He serves in the south of India as a zonal secretary, along with His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj. He's a trustee bureau of ISKCON India. In the past, he has been a deputy GBC, SPT, outreach chairman, South India Divisional Council, and rendered various services to GBC, ranging from court cases to mediating and taking part in various endeavors internationally. Presently, being community head and project director with temple constructions and developments, mainly in the state of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, apart from other areas. So he has been actively interested and working and serving in
printing, publishing, and disseminating traditional knowledge from the books, life and teachings of ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada. He has been traveling very extensively, especially involved in the outreach to the youth and corporate sectors with very specific courses, worships, etc. Shri Radha Gopal Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Baladev Subhadra Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Gaura Nitai Ki Jai. Maharaj has been, as I said, he has been building a self-sufficient community in Coimbatore and Guruvayur, Kerala. So let's give a warm welcome and express our gratitude to His Holiness Bhakti Vinod Swami once again by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Welcome, Vishnupada. Paramahamsa Parivatigacharyas. Ashtotara Satashi Shriman. His divine grace awaits Charanada in the Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. His son founded Acharya Shila Prabhupada. The king, Limit Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Acharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki. Shila Prabhupada Ki. Shila Prabhupada Nuga Ki. Samalita Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Guntre Mahananda. Glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Bhutan, all glories. Vishnu Radha Vandavati, Vishnu Nagavati, Ekran Ki, Vishnu Guru Nitai Ki, Prabhupada Ki, Samavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nitai Bhukti Manam. Some of the devotees, devotees, devotees to some of the devotees, all devotees of devotees of devotees to Sri Guru and Bhutan. Hare Krishna. Yes, I'm very good.